What's up, y'all? Alexis Hornbuckle here. Special guest Derrick Furlow.
Y'all already know.
Jay Boogie in the building. Thank y'all. Welcome to episode 2 of the Collective Unfiltered. So we got a special guest right here, but he's family. This volunteer here. This is Vol Nation here. So thank you, number one, for hopping on the show with us and giving us a little insight to your mind and your journey, man. Appreciate that.
Definitely honored. Honored. Thank y'all for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. So we're getting straight to the point with this one, all right?
I like it.
So, D-Lo, just tell them a little bit about yourself. Tell them how you got started in football.
Getting started in football, growing up in Southwest Atlanta, single mom, raised by 3 kids. I felt like I didn't have a lot of options. I had either you can sell drugs, you can rap, or you can play sports. And quite frankly, where we played in the street. We had cars lined up on each side, and we had the concrete in the middle, the parking lot. Yeah. We played throw 'em up, beat 'em up. So don't run to the sideline when you're getting hit. And at that point, that's when I first actually started playing. I didn't have enough money to actually play recreationally when I was at a young age. Okay. And over a couple of years, my mom moving around trying to put us in the best situation to have the best opportunity to succeed in life. We finally moved out of Atlanta down to Griffin, Georgia, and that's where she met was her husband today. Okay. And I got to middle school, and I was actually able to play organized football. So
how was that, going from just playing in the street, kind of just making it, to being actually on the team? How was that transition?
That was cool. I had one little short stint when I moved down to Griffin in rec ball, and then literally it was middle school right after that. So that was my first time really kind of seeing what organized sports was look like on that stage. I had a chance to play basketball at a park and rec once before. So at that point, I wasn't really sure like what I was really good at. I just played. I was just playing sports.
Yeah, keeping busy, staying active. That's what y'all need to do, kids. Stay active.
I was just playing sports. Yeah. And I did know that if I wanted a better life, sports could provide it, but I wasn't sure what sport I was good at. I had no idea. Right. So that's kind of how I got started. And then once we got to the point where I got to high school, and I realized, all right, it's a lot of teammates around me that are bigger than me, stronger than me, faster than me. And honestly, I'm in Georgia, so there's a whole lot of cats that were better than me, talent-wise.
A lot of people in Georgia, especially Atlanta.
Man, what?
South Georgia.
Yeah, so cats was better than me, but I seen a lot of them make a lot of mistakes. They end up getting them took away from sports, and I just realized I don't need to do what they're doing.
Right.
And it kind of put me in position to, okay, you're still on the team because this guy got kicked off, or you're still on the team because this guy got kicked off, or got kicked out of school, or got locked up.
Oh, yeah.
So it put me in position to play. And at that point, I'm like, man, this thing could probably be something that helps change my life. But I really didn't take advantage of it until we moved from Georgia to my stepdad got a job promotion in Arkansas. And that's when life got real because I'd never been to Arkansas. And I wasn't trying to stay in Arkansas.
All right, tell us a little bit about that, like Georgia, Arkansas.
Oh, man.
Culture shock, huh?
Completely different cities.
Culture shock, life shock. I was mad, I was angry, I was frustrated because my freshman year in high school, I finally get there. I'm in Georgia at this point, and I come into my own basketball, track, football, right? And I start getting told, oh, you're pretty good. So I'm like, oh, cool, I'm going to make this thing work.
Yeah.
Man, sure enough, my stepdad get a job promotion, got a raise, but it came with a move. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I just gonna stay with my daddy. Stepmama was like, nah, you can't stay with us. So I'm like, well, I ain't moving. What? They sold the house, so guess what? You moving. And I got to Arkansas, and I'm like, look, I got to get up out of here. And that's when sports got serious to me because I came up with I had to take control of my own happiness and take control of my own life. And I had to realize that my mom was doing the best she could to put us in the best environment to win. But this was that environment. I ain't want to be here, so the only way I was going to change it is I did something about it.
Right.
And that's when I came up with my first plan of my life, and it was called the Get Out of Arkansas plan. And it involved sports, and that was the vehicle. Like, that's when stuff got, like, real. Like, I started paying attention to what I liked, what I didn't like, what I was going to play, what I wasn't going to play, and it kind of evolved to being football left by a process of elimination.
Yeah.
We went home over break. Basketball season was in. I had missed practice, missed a couple games, came back. Coach was like, hey, you got 500 bleachers before you can play again. And I'm like, I don't like basketball that much. Last time playing organized basketball.
500 bleachers?
500.
Okay, so
I still owe him those 500 bleachers.
So explain what a bleacher is for those that don't know. So what a bleacher is.
If you're in a gymnasium and y'all have these seats that go from the floor to the top, like the ceiling, you got to run up and down those.
500 times.
Up, 1, 2, yes, 500
My
times.
kids think I'm hard on them.
500.
I like that. I might use that the next time.
500.
I might use that.
That's how you eliminate people, because I eliminated myself.
Yeah,
like,
I don't like basketball that much. I'm out.
done.
I'm out.
New sport.
So at
New
that
sport.
point, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I run track and play football. Track season coming around. We running. I was good at it. But it felt like punishment. We running in practice. I'm like, oh, we just running and running and running.
That's it.
And I'm like, look, nobody ain't chasing me. Now, when we did the 4x4, that was cool. But all the rest of this warming up, running, stretching, running, distance running, I'm like, what?
You like, why?
So at that point, I'm like, you know what? Let me just go stick to football and just run track when I need to do something for football. And that's kind of how football became that sport that made me, all right, cool, this is how I'm going to get out of it. This is how I'm going to control my life. This is how I'm going to change my life.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I got narrowed down.
Young athletes, I don't think you're quite grabbing what he's saying. I know the adults that are listening in, I know y'all get it, but as a kid, his focus was intentional to what he felt his purpose was, or the vehicle that he wanted to use to get a free education. I tell my girls all the time, listen, you don't have to be here. I want you here, but only if you want to learn and get better, because I can't really give you energy and effort.
Come on.
But I can teach you the game.
Right.
So to be able to kind of master that at a young age, that says a lot, man.
Man, it was kind of by force, really.
Yeah, and I think another point to that is he, of course, he enjoyed what he did as an athlete, but at the same time, he had an end goal. And his end goal, because
get out of Arkansas.
I think, his was get out of Arkansas, okay, and then my next step is what do I want to do after college, post-college, because such a small percentage actually go pro.
Yeah.
If we think about over the course of our 4 years, the people that actually were professional athletes with a sustainable career, the percentage is so small. And of course, we're not here to take down anybody's dreams or aspirations, but what's plan B? What's really going to give you, a career or that lifelong residual income, for example. But, he had a goal is, all right, football is going to get me out of Arkansas and it's going to get me to college ultimately, and I can work from there.
I like that. So knowing that your mentality, you kind of zoned in, football is the vehicle you're going to use for free education to get you out of Arkansas. What made you choose Tennessee?
Yeah.
That journey right there ended up being one of the craziest journeys that ever take place in my life, because Tennessee wasn't even on my radar. Like, I got to Arkansas from Georgia, so I'm a Georgia boy by nature.
Yeah.
So sophomore year, I'm there. I play a little bit. They had some guys that was older than me. They were solid. Yeah. So I didn't play as much as I wanted to. But of course, coming from Atlanta, of course, they realized that you up next, and they put it on you. So I'm like, cool. I own this. I own this shit when it's my time, right? Right. So come my junior year, I'm like, all right, it's my time. So I had this dream of getting out of Arkansas. So everything I did, me and my brother, we breathe, sleep, eat football. Whether we was training at home, running outside, after practice, we had a job. We worked at McDonald's. We got our whole team hired at McDonald's.
Mickey D's, it went down.
Literally, everybody that had something to do with the game was around us all the time.
Say that one more time. You did what? You and your brother did what? Just to eat, breathe, tell them.
We surrounded ourselves with the guys that was going to help us make this our dream a reality. Real. Literally, from job to hanging out. Literally, our nature was the game. We played Madden in AA, and we didn't play for free, but it was all the guys that was going to help us make this thing happen. So going into our junior year, we had upped the ante on what it was going to take to make it happen. Right. And the crazy part about it is we was grinding for something that was bigger than us, and our teammates were just grinding because they thought it was about the game and about the season. Right. Yeah. But really, it was about us getting out of Arkansas. Yeah. And I seen that it was a guy by the name of Derrick Furlow who had already accomplished that goal of getting that full ride at sophomore. Mm-hmm. So I looked up his stats, and I said, okay, this is what he did. This is what I'm going to do. My get out of Arkansas plan became rush for 2,200 yards, 20 touchdowns, take the city and the team and take them to their first state championship. If we do it and we win the state championship, I'll get the attention I need to get the recognition to give me a full-ride scholarship back out of Georgia. So I had a game plan already down. Yeah. So everything I was doing, I was working on. And as I was buying into what I was looking at, my teammates was buying into my belief of winning. Right. So they were just around me. They surrounded themselves around the thought process me and my brother had. Because a lot of guys that was from that city, they grew up there, they worked there, they died. Nobody really left. Yeah. So it probably came up arrogant when I was young, but I'm like, bro, y'all got to get up out of here. Like, I knew it was more to life than that. Yeah. So they kind of, I expanded their vision on what they can be more, do more, have more. Mm-hmm. And guys bought in. So literally that junior year, Came out, won the first game, second game, third game, fourth game, 5-0, first time in school history. Next thing you know, 6th game, 7th game, 8th game, 9th game, 10th game, 10-0, first time in school history.
Okay.
3 games left. First round of the playoffs, knocked the team off. 2 games left. Second round of the playoffs, knocked the team off. One game left before the championship, and I'm like, this thing working. This thing working. I never had a plan in my life, but this thing was working. And sure enough, we played this team. I ain't gonna even mention their name. I can't even give them no love. Man,
that's called being a true competitor right there.
Man, they had 2 cats that went to Air Force. Well, one went to 2 in the Air Force, one went to Army. So they were disciplined.
Yeah, very much so.
But they knew our strength was our speed, and man, that field was so wet. We out there, we couldn't turn, couldn't cut, couldn't run. We was sliding. They couldn't. I'm like, man, what cleats you got on? Out of there. The game 7-0 to the third quarter. Next thing you know, they ended up putting up 21 points. 21-7, we lost the game.
Dang.
First loss came 1 game away from the state championship.
Wow.
And at that point, I was hurt, but I didn't realize the get out of Arkansas plan actually started to work. I started getting letters in the mail, started getting some attention.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And people knew who we were. Like, we was a force to be reckoned with. And that's when I realized, all right, this thing can really work.
Yeah.
At that point, I just had to go back to the drawing board and actually execute my senior year.
Yeah.
And this is kind of how I ended up at Tennessee. My senior year, I had all these visits, doing all these unofficial visits, going to all these different camps. Right? I'm checking out every place. Well, there's one particular place I knew I wasn't going to go, and that was to the University of Arkansas. But Coach Nutt was there. They called me. We're going to visit. I'm like, all right, cool.
Right.
I go on to visit. I'm up there, get a chance to meet Darren McFadden. They moved him up a rank. His school up, they went up in class division, so we was going to play them next year. So I'm like, thank you, let's go. Meet him for the first time, we rap. Camp in the end, I'm doing ball drills, jump for this ball, come down, kind of funny, don't even think about it. On that long ride home, my knee swells up. Ooh. So I'm kind of like, man, my knee real big. So I wasn't freaking out. Okay, I played it cool. I was tripping in the head a little bit, though, but
low-key.
I played it cool. Go check out the doctor. They were like, oh, it's a meniscus tear. I'm like, oh, cool. They just say you get a scope, you'll be good. So I put it off for like 2 months. So I ain't really need it. I'm doing all these 7-on-7 camps. Still balling on this torn meniscus until I catch it. Well, finally we get about 2 weeks before the season will start. Coach was like, hey, you need to go ahead and get that thing scoped. Went to Louisiana because Arkansas was so small where we was at. Went to the other state to get the surgery done. And I wake up as I'm getting rolled out of the operating room, and my left hand is touching my thigh, and it's a brace on there. And I'm like, it's a big brace for a meniscus.
Right.
So I'm still kind of sedated. I'm like, hey, doc, what's this brace for? And, man, at that moment, he said something that changed my life forever. He said, that brace, that's for your ACL. And at that moment, I was like, what? And he said, we went in there, and your ACL was partially tore. I said, bro, it wasn't all the way tore. He was like, if I wouldn't have fixed it, that would have been malpractice. So I had to fix it. I said, what? So at that point, everything I had worked for to have a better life, to put myself in position to control my destiny, I felt like it was just stripped away from me in a matter of a surgery that I wasn't even supposed to have. And that's when life kind of changed. And I wasn't sure what was next. I was mad, angry, frustrated, devastated.
Right.
And at that point, nobody knew. Team starts playing, start off season 3-0. Coach didn't tell nobody. And after those 3 non-conference games, I was gonna come back to conference play. They made the call that I was gonna be out for the season.
Ooh.
Team went downhill, and all those calls and unofficial visits and letters gone. All those small schools that I wasn't gonna go to anyway, I kind of already burnt those bridges. I'm like, I was going to the SEC. Gone. So bridges was burnt. It was partially my being young, arrogant. I ain't coming here anyway.
Mm-hmm. Right,
so it didn't matter. But all those other schools, gone. All those conversations I had, gone. So at this point, I went from hero to zero real quick. Obsolete on the football landscape.
Damn.
Yeah.
Woo.
Shook.
Tough.
Shook. And I was doing rehab. I said, all I knew how to do was work. So I was doing rehab. I went from doing rehab once a day to 3 times a day. And I had this fantasy of, okay, if I do rehab long enough, hard enough, the team could ball out, go to the playoffs, and I can make it back.
You can come back at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I come back. We didn't even make the playoffs. So that went out the window quick. So at this point, track come around, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to run track, try to get my speed better. Still wasn't sure how this thing was going to work out for me. And one day I'm sitting on the bed doing rehab, crying, mad. And I hear something say, I gave you that stage for something bigger than you. and you was using that stage for your own selfish purpose, reasons, and ambitions and goals. So I had to take it away from you to get your attention.
Oh, preach.
That's powerful.
Preach.
And I'm like, look, you got my attention loud and clear. I don't even know what I need to be doing, what I'm supposed to be doing. He said it was bigger than you. This thing was not about you, but you was making it about you.
Right.
And that was the ego. And at that point, I wasn't sure. I'm like, look, Lord, whatever you need me to do, let me do it.
Yeah.
He didn't give me no clarity. He just said, keep working. Kept working. Track time come around. Running track. Didn't like it. But got better. Got faster. And sure enough, spring comes around. At the track. And I get this letter in the mail from a place I never visited, never went to.
Yeah.
It was from the University of Tennessee.
Hey.
And it was inviting me to the spring game. And the crazy thing about it is, I had no idea how to send me this letter. So I got it. And I was like, hope. I'm like, what? A shot? I'm going. Let's go. Mm-hmm. We get there. Meet the team. Had a chance to go talk to Coach Foreman, Coach Slade, Coach Caldwell, and I'm in the office with him. And when I'm in there, they say, Coach Caldwell actually recruits the state of Arkansas. He was like, hey, D, we heard about you, man. Know how good of a player you were. Unfortunately, we can't give you no full ride scholarship because we heard about your knee. But if your knee responds how it's capable of responding, we got a full ride scholarship waiting on you. And I'm like, oh.
So what I need to do?
I said, sign me up. I'm betting on me.
Well, what I got to do?
Right.
But how'd you hear about me? He said, we was actually watching film against two guys you played against. And you showed up on the film. Over and over and over again. So you never know who watched it for one. And
that's number one.
Yep.
That was one of the biggest blessings because at that point I just needed a shot.
Yep.
Like I was betting on myself. I had been through so much early in life. I was betting on myself to make it work and to win. That was just gonna be a test. So how I got to the University of Tennessee, it was not the route that I thought it was gonna be. Like it wasn't an easy road.
Right.
And honestly, I can appreciate it because it made me appreciate that stage and the opportunity when I got there. I didn't blow it because I had a lot of guys that came in that had that route, and a lot of guys that blew it. Mm-hmm. We came in. I ended up coming in with number one recruiting class in the country. 26 came in, and when we sat down our first team meeting, Coach Trooper Taylor said, "Look to your right, look to your left. Half of y'all won't be here when it's time to graduate." It was 26 of us. 13 of us graduated, but out of that 13, 10 of us got our masters.
Wow.
So it worked out in the long run.
Right.
But if I would have got here on that easy route, just because I earned it early, it wouldn't have worked out. I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah, for sure, it wouldn't have been like that.
Yeah. So
you got to learn at some point in time.
Yeah.
You got to learn at some point in time. I like how you said it was bigger than you because these athletes today, they kind of make it about them. And I mean, the social media era kind of puts the limelight on you. It kind of encourages you to promote self and promote what you like and what you want and not necessarily what you need to do. So you saying that and being able to recognize that, number one, and then adjust your attitude and your thinking, God will humble you real quick. Mm-hmm. And it can come at a young age. It can come when you're in college. It can come when you're post-college, whether you went pro or whether you already started your business. But it's coming. If you're not doing what you need to do or doing it the right way, it's coming.
Yeah.
That y'all said something on that bigger than you part. I mean, it's evident in everything you do. I touch on it in my book because when you think about anything you do, once you get to this sports stage, they start calling you by your last name. Your last name gonna outlive your first name.
Yep.
Your last name passes on, your first name goes away.
Yeah.
When you get to college, they call you by your last name when you're checking when you're in class. Like your last name becomes so much bigger. The name that's on the jersey is bigger than you. So technically, that you're talking about, the ego is all about. It ain't been bigger than you in so long. It just takes a minute for you to actually realize it.
Yeah. Kind of what got you to Tennessee, and you kind of spoke a little bit about it. I just want you to elaborate a little more. What was the mentality once you got to college? You fulfilled your dream. You got out of Arkansas. You got a free education. You're on path to get your master's. And
well, see, hold on. See.
Let me back up now.
You let him out. So when I got here, I still had something to prove.
Okay.
I still.
Well, get me right then, dude. Get me right.
I'm gonna tell you. So I got here not the route I wanted to take. So now I got here. For one, I gotta get my scholarship.
That's right. Because you gotta be healthy to get the full ride.
So I still had to prove to myself that I belong here.
Yep.
I still had to prove to these coaches that, hey, I am that guy you saw on film, but actually better. Yep. So I still had to prove to my peers that, hey, he might have been coming on scholarship, but most of them didn't even really notice. They didn't know that. Right. So I still had something to prove. It was more of a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, look, this ain't even done yet. And then I had to do it because all those cats that put in that work with me when I was in high school that was buying into this dream I had, and they were grinding with me for whatever reason, I had to make it happen. So they had no excuses for why they couldn't leave Arkansas too. So it was so much bigger than me. So
because a lie hit you. You could have quit.
Yeah.
A couple times.
A lot of cats fold.
Yeah.
But it was so much bigger than me. Then I had to remember when my mom did all that moving around when I was younger to put us in a better environment, a better situation. She never settled. And I believe you always get what you settle for.
Oh.
You get 100% of what you settle for.
Big facts. Big facts.
So I just made up my mind. Everything worked out so far, and I had got here. I had proof of hope already. It's got to work. So I pretty much came. I got to put the work in and make it so they can't deny me. And at that point, when I got to college, I realized the business aspect after my freshman year. The first camp we did, we go through summer camp. I come out of camp. I'm like, I competed with the number one class that I came in with. I went to coach. I'm like, hey, coach, you want to get my scholarship?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, they were like, no. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I need to go back to the drawing board, and that's the business. So
let me look this over.
So the season goes by. Camp comes again. Summer. I got bigger, I got stronger, I got faster. I knew my reads, knew my checks, knew my alignment, knew my assignment. We get out of camp. I go back to coach. I'm like, hey, coach, can I get my scholarship? They're like, no. Now at this point, I'm starting to question everything.
Right.
I'm sitting here looking. I'm like, all right, I done got better. Bigger, stronger, faster. I'm competing. I'm doing what I need to be doing. Why this thing ain't working? Mm-hmm. Well, that season, it's 2006. We go into the Air Force game. Mm-hmm. And this game right here is really where a lot of stuff shifted for me. During this game, a good friend of mine, Inky Johnson, get hurt.
Yep.
Ink gets hurt. He goes to the hospital. Things, they said, we can't go visit him. I'm like, all right, why we can't go visit him? Like, it got a little more serious than whatever we initially thought. So 3 days later, we get a chance to go visit him. And we go as a unit, DBs. So it's 13 of us. Mm-hmm. And we walking in, before everybody in the room, Coach Slade in the front, I'm like 4 or 5 guys behind him. And Coach Slade was like, hey, Ink, how you feeling? And he's like, Ink said, I'm at peace. And he said that, I'm like, bro, time out. Played the game, arm paralyzed, almost lost his life. And he at peace? And I'm going to put mad about a scholarship? I'm like, I don't know what piece he got. I need that piece, though, because right now my perspective is off. I'm like, I'm worried about the wrong stuff. Right. And when I started to sit back and think about it, I was still not doing what the Lord had put me here to do. I was still worried about me, my. I was still focused on my own personal, selfish ambitions, reasons, and goals to get this scholarly, that I wasn't even being a better teammate, being a leader for those younger guys that was around me. I wouldn't let them know that, hey, whatever you're going through, it's okay. You can make it out. Like, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing with that football stage that I was giving. So guess what? He wouldn't give me what I needed. So I had missed my message a couple times. It took Ink getting hurt and me hearing a different perspective on it, shift my perspective to allow me not miss my message. So at that point, when I had that aha moment of I'm still focusing on my own selfish personal goals and not this thing that's being bigger than me, that's when everything shifted. So at that point, I realized, okay, I need to start worrying about me and start taking care of my guys that's around me and start being a better teammate.
Right.
And really, that's when everything kind of changed. I shift gears versus focusing on me and being a better leader. Got involved with FCA, start taking care of my grades. They was already straight, but just making sure, hey, I was doing the things I could do to help those guys around me. Right. And when spring came that time around, I had this player's prayer: play smart, play fast, play safe, play quick, be relentless, make my plays that come my way, and make it so they can't deny me. And literally, by the time that spring ended, I ain't have to go to coach and ask for the scholarship.
They came to you.
They came to me.
And that's how it works.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. Make sure y'all listen to that, pause it, rewind, run it back a couple times. That was some good stuff. Write it down. There. That was I think this generation now in youth sports, they miss that a lot. That message of you may miss your opportunity. You may feel like you're doing everything correct, but it's always something either you can be doing better or you need to take a step back and refocus and say, okay, I kind of went astray. How do I get back? That's good stuff, man.
It was so when I refocused and looked at it, it was from a business perspective. Because what I realized was, all right, if I'm a college, I got you here already. Why would I give you money? So from a player, okay, I got to add value.
Yep.
So how do I add value to this organization? For one, if my grade's on track and I'm finna graduate early, that's gonna help the team. It's gonna help the organization look better.
Right.
So if I'm staying out of trouble, that's even better. If I got a possibility of helping them play multiple positions, that's even better, making me more versatile.
Right.
So I had to start thinking about what's my value add that's gonna make them want to give me a scholarship versus, all right, they know I'm good, I'm supposed to give a scholarship.
Doing what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Give me my scholarship.
I had to look at it from their perspective of why I need to scholar this guy.
Yeah.
And when I take a different approach and start looking at it from how can I help them versus how can they help me,
right.
Game change.
Yep.
And that's the perspective now I take in everything I do. Make this thing a win-win, or think about the value add that you can add to them, and now at that point things work out in your favor. At some point or another, it will.
Right.
Because the grind always pays off. It's just a matter of the currency that it's going to pay you in.
Yep.
Right.
A lot of time we think in this is going to pay you in a paper currency, and it might pay you in a relationship currency, it might pay you in a position currency, it might pay you in a degree currency. It can pay you in a different currency.
Ways,
you just got to understand that it's always going to pay off. So I was fortunate enough to kind of see it and was exposed to that and just didn't miss that.
Right. So with your book, all right, so you had this mentality, obviously, starting off, getting out of Arkansas, all right, then, okay, we get to Tennessee, right, now we graduate. So what about kind of that mentality starting in Arkansas till now helped you develop kind of the blueprint for your book and transitioning from sports into life and business?
The first part happened my senior year, when I missed my senior year. I believe I died as an athlete. Like, I experienced death as an athlete because my identity was took away from me. And it wasn't expected. Like, I didn't plan on, like, not playing football my senior year.
Right.
So, from an athletic perspective, it's once you're done playing, like, you know, it's over. So, in high school, when they got stripped away from me and I couldn't play by force,
right.
I'm like, man, I ain't no athlete. Like, well, if you ain't playing on Fridays,
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? So, at that point, like, I died as an athlete, so I had a whole year to really try to think about, all right, what's this bigger picture? What's this bigger purpose? I wasn't sure what it was,
right?
But I had a chance to not be an athlete for a whole year. Not be that guy,
right?
Because guess what? Nobody really cares.
Right.
They care when you're that guy or you're that girl and you're in the spotlight, but once you're not,
next man up.
Yeah, that's when you're top and you fall out. Like, so at that point, when that happened to me early, I'm like, okay, cool. So when I got to the University of Tennessee and having a chance to see guys that left out go to the league, whether it was basketball, football, and some had some success, some had a short stint of success, some had zero success, but then they find themselves coming back to school. Mm-hmm. I'm like, bro, why you coming back to school? You didn't go to class the first time you was here. So at this point, I'm like, they ain't coming back because they trying to go to med school. They come back because they don't know what's next. They don't know what to do next. Like, now that this game is over, they're lost. In the school, college is a good place to kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
So it's a safe place. So that's what they're coming back for. So I'm like, can't be that guy. But there's so many doing it. In every school, not just here where I was at. So at that point, I'm like, either I'm going to figure this out or I'm going to be another statistic. Yep. I'm going to be on the same path they are on.
Right.
So playing safety, it made me aware of a lot of stuff. So when I was aware of that, I'm like, okay, either it's going to happen to me or I'm going to put a plan in place where it don't happen. And what I realized was the game had taught athletes a lot of the stuff they needed to live outside of the game. However, it was never applied outside of the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as I started to slowly but surely get exposed to different people that didn't play sports and seeing how they ran their life or how they ran their business, I'm like, this is the same as this. So literally my senior year, Coach Kiffin was here and we had to learn a new playbook. And that's when everything we learned a new playbook and they weeding folks out. Like, if you don't learn the playbook, you're out of here, right?
That quick.
Oh yeah, they had to get the numbers right.
Yeah, of course.
So Coach Money Kiffin was like, hey D-Lo, this right here is the same as that right here. So he was comparing my old playbook to a new playbook. He said, this play's the same, you just got a couple different things to change. So when he said that, I'm like, hold on, this is the same as that. I'm like, I started comparing everything I did in sports, how it could be relevant to something that I had heard about in business. Mm-hmm. And I started making that correlation. I'm like, we got the blueprint. Like, we got everything we need. As an entrepreneur, in sales, everything correlates. So when I started talking about this transition, I literally just started thinking about everything that correlated. And I came up with this formula, T plus C equals ST. And that was take away whatever I was going through in life, what did I take away from it? Mm-hmm. And then the C was the correlation. How could it correlate to where I was at or where I was going? And then the next C was the carryover. How could I carry over? And if I did all three of those things, I'll have a successful transition. So after getting a chance to see that in my own head, I started implementing it while I was in college. And seeing other cats doing it, even though they didn't know the titles and the names for it. And I seen the blueprint for some cats that had success, and then once they didn't. And I knew exactly what they did and what they didn't do. So that's kind of helped formulate the book because I was living in it and I literally saw it. I'm like, all right, this ain't a class, it ain't a book. cats getting lost in the sauce because nobody ain't teaching it.
Teaching them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we taking our time going to classes. Why don't they teach us something that's relevant? So since nobody wasn't going to create it, I feel like I created it myself and helped solve the problem.
Well, thank you for creating that space, creating the book. By the way, what's next? SLB, Sports Life Business, How to Transition Like a Champion. Going from being an athlete into stepping out into the real world with business, finance, whatever it is that you're doing, it's here. So if you don't already have this book, if you don't know who he is, number one, follow him. Number two, go get this. This is a great read. I read it. I keep it by my bed, actually. I just told him that yesterday, but I'm so serious. It's by my bed.
The transition Bible right there.
Like, wait. Let me see. D-Lo talked about that.
What's this play? Hold on.
But this man has always carried himself differently. And I was wild. So for me to be able to stop and notice that on the regular, hey, my man had slacks and penny loafers and the tie on. I'm like, hey, yo, where he going? Like, where you going, bro? Like, but I get it now because he wasn't thinking like, I'm here at school. Yeah, I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to play. I'm going to pro. Like, you're thinking, I'm thankful I'm here. I had to come prove myself. Number one, I had to get out. Number two, I had to prove myself to me, like you said, to your teammates, your peers, your coaches. Then you had to step outside of self again, right? And then your results started coming, right? So you already had that, but you carried yourself as if you were, honestly, D-Lo, you were walking in your greatness probably, bro, before you even realized it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't realize it. Really, that came, two things happened. I had this class, I think women's studies or something. It was like,
class.
Man, I can't remember the teacher.
Too.
I can't remember the teacher's name, but apparently she ain't like males, especially athletic males. So it was like 7 of us in the class, and we had on our hoodies and stuff. You know, we in there posted.
Off football?
Yeah, off football. And first paper was due. We did it at the Thornton Center. I turned mine in.
Yeah.
They said they never got it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I went to the Thornton Center, printed it off, and turned it in. Second paper due. I did it at the Thornton Center. Turn it in. She said she never got it. All right, cool. I'm gonna print it off and go turn it in too. Final due. Say she never got it. I'm like, I did it with a tooth at Miss G at the Thornton Center. I go print it off, turn it in. At that moment, I had a conversation and I realized she just didn't really rock with that.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I said, you know what? I won't ever look like an athlete again in the classroom because I don't need you judging me.
That's
So at
real.
that moment, I stopped sitting by the guys that look like me, and I changed my clothes.
That's
Say it louder
real.
for them in the back real
That is
quick.
I
Make sure
stopped sitting by the guys that look like me, and I changed my clothes. And second thing that happened was I got exposed to a different industry of sales and network marketing and entrepreneurship, and I heard people say passive residual income. I never heard those words in my life. But when I figured out what they mean, you can do something once and get paid over and over and over again.
You like, where do I go? How do I get it?
Well, for one, those people didn't dress like they was wearing hoodies. So I'm like, okay, I can't wear hoodies around them. And for two, I wanted to learn from them. So the only way I was going to get in their circle and get a chance to get around them,
like
I need to start looking like them.
Yep.
So at that point, I'm like, okay, cool. I know my teammates, those are my boys. So I'm going to start hanging out with everybody that I don't know. Because college is the best place to go network. You got 26, 27, 30,000 people that's going to go into career fields or opportunities that don't exist with you. Why would I need to hang out with my teammates all the time? I'm in practice with you. We stay in the dorm together. We're going to eat dinner together. We're going to try together. So I wanted to start surrounding myself and make my circle look like people who didn't look like me.
Right.
So when I started doing that, that's why when you start seeing me go to class wearing suits and stuff, I was trying to change their identity so it wouldn't be put on me as you a jock.
Yeah.
I was working on myself.
Right.
I was working on myself,
Right.
and it just so happened. I'm sure y'all was probably looking at why is he wearing that? So I can only imagine what people were thinking.
Yeah, like, bro, my only question was like, where are you going?
It's about
like,
85 degrees in the middle of Tennessee summer. Why is he in this suit and tie? I mean, he was clean.
He was always clean. I give you that.
That perspective is definitely enlightening because, I mean, how many kids do that nowadays? You know, I mean, people don't even wear a suit to church anymore, hardly. You know, so it's just like it was a different mindset.
And you just said something. I already understood playing sports, looking how I look, hair how I have it. You're already kind of gonna have some stereotypes against you.
Mm-hmm.
Prove them wrong. So I wanted to dress the part. So I broke down the barrier and maybe even changed the perspective a little bit. So for the next cat that was coming behind me, it's easier for him.
Right.
Because it's bigger than me anyway.
Yeah.
So if I do it right this first time around, for somebody that's never really interacted with me that think that I'm going to talk a certain way or be a certain way because the way I look.
Yep.
They gonna have to question what they thinking because I ain't gonna even hit them with that. Like I'm gonna come correct, and you gonna. Oh man, he was intelligent.
Right.
Oh wow, he can speak.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he got a degree.
Yeah.
And then don't even kill him with he wrote a book. So it gets really interesting.
Wait a minute.
So yeah.
Oh, you're not
it became one of those. That's cool. I know I look how I look, but I'm gonna trick you if you try me. Like you're not gonna get this. It's ain't gonna rap how you think it is. So it was a lot of those things that I just kind of peaked game on, and was just fortunate enough. All right, cool. Let me do this thing the right way.
Yeah.
Perfect. So just to wrap this up real quick, if you can leave our guest or our watchers, our viewers, with a nugget about mentality, what would it be to help them grow? Whether it's the young athletes trying to, be successful and work on getting a scholarship, whether it's collegiate athletes that may or may not go pro, whether it's pro athletes that are done with athletics and they now have to go to the business world. Mentality-wise, what is your advice for them?
Mentality-wise, when you think about everything you done gave to the game, don't just think about what you gave the game. Think about what the game gave you back. Because when you think about it, you done put your blood, sweat, and tears into this game. But this game done gave you confidence. It gave you resiliency. It done gave you passion. It done gave you belief. It done gave you so many things that you don't even think about. Like everything you done gave the game, it done gave back tenfold. And you can go apply it somewhere else.
Right.
So when you think about everything you done gave the game, when you walk away from it, think about everything the game gave you, and you can go use that somewhere else.
Right. Yep.
So it reciprocates by choice or by force. So if you don't get a game, nothing. If you cheat the game, it's going to cheat you.
Choice or by force. I like that.
If you cheat the game, it will cheat you back. So
absolutely.
I believe if you get a game, everything you got, hands down, it's going to give you everything you got back. So when you get into the next phase of your life, your business, as a man, as a woman, in marriage and finances, you can play at an elite level in whatever you do. Because it's already instilled. It's already innate.
Yep.
So that's what I would give them. Like, get a game, everything you got, and together and give you everything you got back.
All right, y'all. I hope, somewhere in this segment you found some little takeaway from this segment with D-Lo. We appreciate you, family, as always.
Absolutely. Thank y'all
Boss
for having
for
me
life.
on. You
Boss
know
for
what
life.
it is.
Man, you always welcome. Call
You
in,
know
do
what
whatever.
it
Hey,
is.
Lex, let's hop on. We there, bud. We there. Let's go.
But we appreciate y'all tuning in. We have some other things in the works with D-Lo, so definitely stay tuned. And we thank you for tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
And remember,
Be unfiltered in your truth.
absolutely.
Yeah.